at another time. Alexi B is looking sharp, holding this monster tunnel.
And that's the bomb delivered.
Yeah.
It actually fell really far forward. Another great headshot for Alexi. He's looking for more. Taking on Sip on top. That's beautiful. What a start. And it leaves Blamef all on his own. And normally I would say Blamef's very competent, very dangerous to be up against, maybe especially in some of these pistol rounds. But Alexi will hunt him down. Nonetheless, a quad kill for Alexi to begin this fight with.
And Alexi looks pretty happy about that one there. Just great shooting overall from him. What a way to start. Alexi's one of those IGLs that you just kind of have these moments for him where you see how strong his mechanics can be, and you wish it could happen all the time, but you know, it's beautiful when it does come together.
Yeah, but don't you feel sometimes like that's what lures you down the road of all that wishful thinking? Because it's so obvious. If Alexi's having his good games more often, then it just will change everything about how the team functions. It really can look super sick, but when he disappears in some of the matches, probably maybe sort of called into having to worry about the game and the tactics and all of that, when that's where all of his focus goes, then it feels like things just don't work out nearly as well. But that was obviously a great start. Astralis now don't have much to work with, and NiP aren't giving them anything to work with either. Staying very far back, which is respectable. This is still means aggressive push, but it is a safer version of it with two people out here.
And with the M4, you feel pretty confident about taking that fight through the tunnel. Glaive just trying to find some space here. It's just not too much to work with for Astralis in this one. And so Astralis right now are in a position where I just think that the general audience, the majority of fans right now, aren't really sure, is this team competing for trophies? Are they a team that is going to just kind of stay in that top 15 range, or what have you? And so I think these groups have demonstrated so far that it's just going to be a work in progress for them. Buzz is still catching up to speed. The Dusk was pretty critical about his play thus far, doing Pimp said, and I quote, worse than Evil Genius players.
Yeah, Jacob never really won to soften the blows, is he?
No, he's not going to pull any punches.
Appreciate it. Maxter, good stuff. I think it's been real fun watching him. Again, thrown into the deep end. There are so many good reasons why you could have a very tough time being just kind of called into play at this level without much warning. But I would say, you know, in light of that, he's been doing a pretty respectable job. At least for now.
Yeah, we'll see when this game heats up. Both of these teams, of course, playing to try to avoid the showdown. That's really what's at stake here. Everybody wants to just make it into the spring finals, which will be taking place in Washington, D.C. Everybody wants to cross the Atlantic to play a big tournament on that American soil.
Yeah, showdown, I mean, could end up getting populated with some pretty rough teams as well, so you just want to stay away from that as much as you can. Third round, though, we've got AKs picked up by the Astralis team, and that actually looked like he had more than half a second there, maybe Device to take the shot, but he didn't. Instead, Brolin takes him down. It's a good return as Blamef will find the shot, and it's a 4-on-4, so that little recovery, not allowing Brolin to escape, is obviously super important.
Right. That trade is going to make the mid-rounding a lot easier for Glaive. This time, it looks like he's opting to just go for a little bit of a monster peek here, and that catches Rez off. Okay. Peeks in even after the shots start, ringing out, and Zipnik's able to take him down. Oh, Glaive, another shot to take down Maxter in the backlines, and Alexi B, he's got to do it all on his own, but he's only able to find the one, which just leaves Head Trick. He's at Heaven. It's not smoked off, so this is still a bit curious. He still has an opportunity here, but with just the FAMAS and with that smoke landing at his feet, you think that he's out of this one.
Just a series of really good entries. And maybe Rez went a little bit too far on one of those jiggles, and that's what caught him out. But either way, good kill from Sip, Glaive on the follow-up. And because of the kills down there, they kind of know Alexi is somewhere. They obviously have been studying NiP. They know that he tends to be on that part of the map, so not too hard for them to figure out. Blamef with the final kill of the round. Nothing is saved on the NiP side. Astralis, they'll take it. It's a fresh, quick return into the early part of this half, so why not? This shot, though, yeah, this is important. 2 taps. All right.
It's a really great return. And just to remark on the setup Astralis is starting with, they're going with these 2-on-2 defaults. And, I mean, we'll see if it keeps up, but that just kind of indicates they really want to just feel out the map, which seems very classic of the organization. But this time more of a 2-2-1, putting some emphasis towards connector here.
Yeah, with Sip hanging around outside of the B bomb site. Although I think some of those nades dissuaded him from continuing. He was in the tunnel a second ago. Door blown open, which is probably why Astralis are frozen at the back towards the ladder door connector, because once that door is missing, there could be a boost, there could be just any number of things. NiP, they were out in the water behind them, but now they've actually fallen back. They're just playing at the L bend with a little bit of a double, almost a triple setup here, so it could be hard for Astralis to manage. If they get into a fight and more CTs just keep showing up at the corner, it could be a little bit confusing, although Buzz has got the right idea, but not quick enough with the trigger. He definitely had the opportunity there. Sip trying to recover the round with a wall bang from the other side. That's all the way out from where the stairs are. He took that shot to bring it back at least into a 3-on-4, and that's something to work with. Glaive sneaking in, and he's going to drop Alexi. That makes it a bit easier. 3 versus 3 now. Some spam coming through the smoke. Device out on long, and another good opportunity that is missed by Astralis, as Brolan will defeat him with just a FAMAS. Catching almost that one. Glaive, he's low on health though, so he might be in a lot of trouble. He needed that shot almost instantly. Only 24 seconds, so even if they win the fight right now, they're going to be in trouble. Glaive will get that one. Oh, they find Maxter down on the other side of the map. Head trick. He can win this round with just this one kill. There's not enough time. 13 seconds, and Sip, he just can't make it happen.
I'm not even sure if they would have made it to the bomb site without that kill. It would have been pretty close at the very least. But yeah, Astralis, this is a little bit reminiscent of the way that they played against Vitality on the T side, where they were going for multiple engagements seemingly at the same time. And this one, the key engagement, despite the fact that Astralis came out ahead in a lot of the fights, is that Device died towards long A with the bomb, and then it was just a recovery mission that was too much for them to handle. And so yeah, NiP, they're just kind of having to fight by themselves. It's kind of a cool way to play it for Astralis. But this is a nice sign for NiP that they're able to win these fights as such.
And some of these fights definitely for Astralis, but they could have won it, I think, very convincingly in this particular round. It could be a bit of a cold start. Either way, I expect to see them win those kind of fights going a little bit later into it, because there were some slight giveaways there that probably they didn't need to. Timeout has been called from the Astralis organ. I think that makes sense. Maybe feeling a little bit rusty at the start here. Glaive getting a chance to chime in as well. I'm definitely not opposed to the idea that they're doing. This idea of sort of fighting all across the map could just be very, very hard for the CTs to deal with, especially when it happens early on in the round, so you don't really know if it actually ends up being an A or a B type hit.
It definitely tests the CT's communication.
Yeah.
And just their individual ability. Hetrick posted up with Brolin. This is a cool little setup between the both of them, and they have some help. There are more people right behind him, so even though Brolin falls, Hetrick is now activated, although he might get sideswiped here by Device. But Rez, this might be another really just confusing play against Astralis. They didn't expect this other player to be here, and Rez is doing such a great job with the pistol too.
Yeah, he knew he'd done the damage to Buzz to begin with, so able to pick him off. All on Sip in a 1 versus 2 with a lot of time on the clock. It's definitely a doable round. Maxter, though, being very proactive. He just let go of a couple of bullets, so I think Sip might have been dead. Otherwise, the jump down is there, and even with the AK, he can't win the fight. It's Alexi to take him down, and NiP, they are loving it right here. Maybe not loving the fact that they lost a couple of rifles in this particular round. That's a little bit painful. They'll probably pick up at least a couple of AKs, but still, they are winning some of these early rounds and not allowing Astralis to build up any momentum.
I really love the CT call there from NiP. We've been seeing these spread out defaults from Astralis, ones they're trying to pick people off in different parts. And so if you just gather 4 people together, it's almost like you're acting like the T's there. You're the one that's actually dictating where your group fight is going to take place. And, you know, they got the fight that they wanted, actually. They were able to come out on top with the trades. Cool call after that timeout.
Good lead. Just pistols on the T side as they are walking into a huge crossfire. Head trick already there. Good shot from Device. Second deagle kill that we've seen. Second kill overall for him, in fact. And he is angling for another one. Could happen. Aim punch makes it a little bit difficult if you don't get this straightaway headshot. And for head trick, this is quite the round. You get 2 kills with the MP9. You get the extra bonus for that. And then you pick up an AK on top of it.
It's a best case scenario thus far. Glaive and BlameF just looking for a little bit more damage here. But not going to happen for Glaive. But We'll see if Blame F has a chance here. Seems like he's always good for one in these really late round situations. He's just going to burn the entire clock.
Oh, walks into head trick, who seems to be on point. But you're right, though. He's so comfortable, Blame F, running down the clock. And when other teams or other players start to feel the pressure of there only being 15 or 10 seconds left, it seems like Blame F doesn't really care that much. So definitely fun to watch, but obviously very difficult to play against. Didn't work out this round. And they're in a position right now where 5-1 on the T side. So some of it is a little bit excusable, but the truth is NiP are building some really good momentum at the moment. Not the most money in the world that they're setting up for, but that can change. One good round here for NiP where they have 3 or 4 members alive, and Astralis will have to fight back in quite a different way.
It'll be a huge deficit. Okay, wait a second. That's an interesting opener. Alexi B really pressing the issue there. Just kept trying to find that spam damage, and it costs him. Glaive's able to find the 5v4 for his team. There's already this forward position from Zipnix. This is good for catching any kind of push. And it does seem like NiP want to find a little bit more room, some space. And it's happening on the A side. Brolin, he's the one that's pushing forward along with Headtrick.
Classic setup with the AWP and the rifle in front can be very difficult to peek. You walk into it slow, you get that AWP. If you go for the wide swing, you're exposed to the rifle. I like everything about it. 50 seconds, though. In a 4-on-5, Astralis, one of their best chances right now, once everyone has rifles, to actually pick up a round. And they badly need it right now, being down this much. They are setting up still outside of the B-bomb side, though. It looks like it could be a fake bloody shot. That's the Vice. Taking out Brolin with a headshot. Headtrick all on his own on the side of the map. And he's going to walk into the Vice as well. Good couple of kills here. And now Rez and Maxter, they shouldn't really try and go for this. Just leave this round alone. Was kind of done before they even got close to a bomb site.
That was just really nice from Astralis, understanding where to position themselves in the mid-round. They start throwing that slight nade fake towards the B side of the map. Brolin gets a little bit antsy, knows that he could find a flank, or assumes he could find a flank, but Astralis were just positioned, waiting to play the punish, and they do so.
Yeah, super important. This obviously is a bit of a freak accident.
Yeah.
Can't expect that every single round, but yeah, just the patience here. Good setup. Weird angle as well for Brolin to try and fight. And then Headtrick finding himself on his own. Had to try and escape or get away from that position, but got caught by Device at the end of it. So finally another round for Astralis. 5-2 will be the scoreline. And I mean, Headtrick seems to be off to a hot start. He's 9-3 right now. It's still early days, but I don't know. He's been an exciting player to watch too. He's one of the newcomers.
I would say that Headtrick so far, his debut at NiP has been very solid. It's not really blowing us away, let's say, like a Monacy would or anything like that, but I don't think anybody touted this guy to be a Monacy character. Yeah. He wasn't going to be the next greatest opper out there, and if he's just a sustainably top 10 opper in the world, then NiP really do believe, as Jonas Gunnarsson said, that they could start competing for trophies. And so that's a lot of pressure on him, but it actually makes some sense, because if you believe in your rifle core, you believe in your strategies, then why not, right?
You feel like also if he was trying to play like Monacy, then you could have also introducing a ton of mistakes. I'd much rather... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, speaking of which, that is a nice cover for the double push. It's Headtrick again, this time way on the opposite side of the map, and you could tell Sip, even though he's this far back, he's almost in T spawn. He still was not quite ready for that kind of push. But I'd much rather have someone play sustainable AWP than, you know, superstar AWP that fails half the time. And I feel like Headtrick's doing a good job of that right now. Trade coming in, and BlameF, a little bit of a hiccup there. He did take a lot of damage for it. Could have been dangerous, but at least he's alive for now. What a push through. He buys that one right through, and BlameF is out of the round. Missed shot, and Headtrick, he doesn't miss anything right now. That is uncharacteristic. You want to see Device hit those shots, even if he is just coming back. Nice headshot for Buzz, as Headtrick wants to try and take a little bit of a jump there, and Buzz looking for it. This time he was aiming for the truck, and couldn't quite get the kill.
Oh, that was so close for Buzz. Almost brought that to the 1v1, but Headtrick in this round was definitely the hero. The opening pick that he finds, the way that he's able to play in front of the utility. I can't advise anybody to go for the push through smoke against Device. The one against BlameF was nice. It was cheeky, it was tricky. He knew he beat the timing, that there wasn't anybody peeked against him, but to just walk through it after the fact, that was very bold from him. And I think Device is going to hit that shot more times than not.
Surely, yes. But this is back to that trend of NiP stopping the Astralis momentum almost every time. A little bit different now. Device, he took it personally that last round.
Yes.
Saying, all right.
Yeah.
I might just still be warming up into this Counter-Strike thing once again, but you're not going to do me dirty like that without some kind of revenge happening. Taking down Headtrick to start with. That's great.
That's the rebuttal right there for Device. And when Astralis have been finding these 5v4s, they've been doing a pretty good job at just slowing things down, waiting for NiP to make a mistake. And we're seeing more or less the same this time. 1 minute left on the clock. BlameF just waiting at Divider, hoping for a push, but it'll be Maxer that is challenged.
Ooh, jumping back here. They're getting very, very close. He's alone. This might be a save round almost instantly. He's going to get a good kill, at least on Sip, but how do you actually try and retake this? Maybe especially hard with BlameF, going to be stepping into the back. So even if they try to set up for it here, you have to assume that BlameF is the insurance policy right now that should win Astralis this round almost no matter what. There's the shot onto Rez, and now the confusion is just all consuming on the NiP side. The bomb is even making its way back. They could have probably planted at B already, but they've kept the round alive, and you could see Alexi and Brolin. They built a little statue here, and now they're just waiting it out. But this is I think a nicely played round for Astralis.
Yeah, the BlameF lurk really paid off there. Just being able to find that kill onto A gave them a contingency plan. That's what BlameF just seems to be sometimes in these kinds of games, where he's just lurking on one side of the map, even though the team's pressuring on the other. And so for him to find that opening there gave a very easy avenue to find a bomb plant and to secure a third. Just want to note that Device, when he was actually pushing into the site, he wallbanged Alexi right through the sight box, and it almost took him out entirely. So Device is, yeah, he's warming up into this one. I think he started 0-4, but now 5-7, could have been 6-7 if that pesky piece of wood wasn't in his way.
That has to be just great news. I'm sure every Astralis fan out there, that's all they can really be watching right now is just looking at Device almost under a microscope just to see, are we going to get that same level back? And I don't know, at one point, I mean, given how good of a player he was before his break, you almost feels like you'd be crazy not to believe a little bit.
I think that's what most CS fans are here for. They want to see the Device redemption arc. They want to see if he can bring it back to the level that he was known for, just so consistently delivering. Just, I think there's still a case that he's one of the best out there, but he just has to prove it again this year.
Yeah, and you also, it's probably worth mentioning, I'm sure a lot of discussions already been had, but the rest of the Counter-Strike world has just also become better in the meantime. It's not like things are standing still and you just come back and you just have to play to your own level. Everyone else is getting better, and that's super scary. 6-3, Astralis. I don't know if this keeps up, this could still be a very good first half for Astralis. There's not that much cash on the NiP side. Talking about NiP stopping the Astralis momentum, but now same could be said the other way around. So we could be in for a very close and competitive game, which is ultimately what we all want here. Buzz looking for it. Roland on the other side wants to take a little bit of a peek. He's got the perfect idea. You can actually see how he lined that up in his mind before he went for the peek, which is such a crucial skill to have.
The crosshair placement was perfect. Front bathroom smoke. BlameF pushing on forward. Recognizes that there are a couple save rifles on the NiP side. And I do think that Astralis are aware that the money shouldn't be good for the other players for NiP, so they just really have to dodge these two rifles and make sure you don't run into a stack. But okay, the other rifle chimes in. Alexi and Brolin, the only two players with premium guns, and now Astralis, they might just be running into the pistol stack, but that's a beautiful kill for Zipnix to find to make it easier on the approach.
Super important, but Rez is there to return it in Device. He's getting put under a little bit of pressure here. Got that AWP. Nice turnaround. Double dink for Rez. That was so quick. And now it's all on Device. 40 seconds here in a 1 versus 3, and he is slowly but surely getting boxed in. And he must know that Alexei's somewhere here, but is he at the restrooms or is he a little bit closer? He's right there, and the gun barrel is going to be showing way before. Good stuff for Alexei, and NiP with minimal rifles in this round. They still pick it up.
Yeah, DJL getting into it there. That was a pretty loud roar from him at the end, and the positioning was just so strong between these two riflers, Brolin and Alexei. Even though Alexei is not usually the one on the A site, that angle right there paid for him. And
we don't really have many hype coaches, do we?
That's true, but it's also because of the Valve rule for the majors. And so I think a lot of them just temper their excitement all the time. But it's nice to see that DJL recognizes this is Blast. You can get excited.
Yeah, we do it.
We want that.
Kind of just feels nice. Here we go. Deagles
just
spread
natural.
Out. Yeah, you know, I'm sure more of them probably want. You're right. Probably is the rule set that makes it so. All right, Hetrick's just been cooled down a little bit. And for Astralis in itself, that's going to be good news if they can keep him that way. A weird first half so far in terms of neither team really having any real economy. It's obviously working out for NiP in terms of the rounds right now. But if they didn't win that last one, then Astralis probably bounced back in a huge way. So kind of still is on a knife's edge. Rolling up close, easy enough with the double kill. And Hetrick probably likely going to get this kill. And even if not, he is in a very safe position behind that armored truck. So I don't think he's too worried about anything. Okay, nicely done. That's half the kills so far Device have are from the Deagle.
Yeah, you're right. That's actually a little bit concerning. Would love to see it with the rifles or the op. But, you know, you'll take what you can. I don't think he's upset about that. But Hetrick, yeah, he's right here. Glaive right around the corner. If he loses this fight, Hetrick, then there's an opportunity. Okay, actually, he misses the shot, but Alexei B, he's holding the crossfire. It was never really in too much danger. Had to be some clean entries, and they are not going to happen for Astralis. 8th round on the board for NiP, already winning the half.
This is really good work, and you know, sometimes you just need that one round, like the one that they just had with the 2 AKs or the 2 rifles at any rate, and you can build on top of it. And it seems like a small thing, but there are a lot of teams that we've been talking about so far where when they get the opportunity to build something, they don't really take it. They just, it's the one round, and then they're back to losing awkwardly. So I'm excited to see NiP keep this going after winning a bit of a freak round like that. Yeah, exploit it to the maximum ability that you can. This seems much more of a dedicated push towards the B bomb site for the Astralis team. There's not a single soul on the A side of the map for them.
But this is actually going to play into what NiP is setting up for. Okay, Maxter's already there, holding the line. 2 kills for this guy. Although Glaive's able to find a return, though.
Take down Rez. I think Maxter smartly as well. Instead of emptying the entire clip, because there could have been a follow-up flash to come through. So if he's just holding, you know, holding down mouse 1, and he's reloading in the middle of a secondary push there, it's like, no, I'm just gonna stay chill on the other side.
Oh,
that's close. That's so close. But again, the bomb is lost to Astralis, and they need a huge mistake here for NiP, and maybe this could be one of them. If Glaive can get real close, sneak in a kill and make it a 3-on-3, not only will it equalize the round, but it'll put a lot of pressure on that B defense. There is one. Buzz through the smoke to take down Alexei. NiP should really never be losing this round, but they've kind of put themselves in a position where they could.
It's definitely losable for NiP. 30 seconds, though, and Brolin is holding the flank. So this is... Oh, no way. Okay, all right. He's able to win it. But Device actually able to take down Maxter. This has become a 2v2 all of a sudden.
What a flick, though. That does bring it back. Brolin's very low on health. I mean, almost Glaive had that one headshot nearly. There he gets the spray through. And Buzz now trying to see if he can win this one. Brolin's up on top and a great flick. It's the young kid that comes up with a clutch to save Astralis in this one. He got the early shot through, but that is a 5-on-3 that NiP just lost.
There's no way that they should have been losing that one. NiP fumbling it there. They had every reason to be winning this one, but just a couple players dancing around the smokes, playing untradeable positions, and it cost them. This is so... Oh, man. They really just want this one back.
Yes.
Yeah, it almost just feels unprofessional to lose like that. You really want to make sure that the rounds that you have those kinds of advantages, you need to just tighten the defense up. You know where the bomb is. You know where the eventual hit has to be. Everyone needs to play off of each other a little bit better there for NiP.
Surely there are some rounds you lose when you go back. Maybe you look at them and you say, oh, yeah, well, we couldn't have known this. Or there might have been a good reason why we thought it was going to be something else. This is one of those rounds where all it is fights where you think, we didn't have to do this. There's absolutely no reason. Like, it was really obvious how we lost this particular round. That's painful, especially given that there was about to be 9-3 in favor of NiP. And the fact is, especially with the money, if Astralis win this next round, they're right back in the game. They could get up to 6 rounds. Probably a good platform to build this first half on. So this could really cost NiP quite a bit.
The door's open. And not even just the connector door. I mean, the door back into this match for Astralis. It's wide open.
Oh, they're doing it again.
Yeah, risky push, but nobody on the other side immediately. Glaive is making his way back, and he may be caught off guard by this, but Xyp9x is also holding. Okay, great jump spot by Glaive. That's very, very smart from him.
That's some information to work with. The bomb is so far away that he obviously can't react immediately to it. When you see that kind of a push, especially because, you know, last time it was with the orb in the background, so you might have a bit of a read there. Zip still hanging around outside of the B bomb site, but they want to just try and pressure this a little bit. I'm assuming clear out maybe the restrooms. No, they just leave it. That's so interesting. Roland just finding a free kill on Glaive because they thought they just checked it, but they really didn't. They just kind of left restrooms alone.
Yeah, I mean, Glaive did already pretty well in this round of jump spot towards B, but he doesn't think he needs to jump spot every single angle. And so he's caught off. This is another timing Brolin's just creating for himself.
Super sick, isn't it? I think he might have just almost already won the round. Alexi's going to be also pushing to pick up the kill, but there's no way anyone is going to be checking for Brolan. A couple of shots in the back. He doesn't miss this opportunity, but time is slowly running out, and Astralis are running out of players on top of everything else. 13 seconds. It's a good headshot. They can maybe run there. It's going to be lightning fast. Knife out to try and get this bomb plant. And with just 5 seconds left, he can maybe get the bomb plant, but he has to come off it if he wants to live. He's going to get a good shot there. It's a respectable round for Buzz. If they had another 5 or 10 seconds, maybe there would have been a way to play this, but they just ran out of time. So NiP back to their winning ways.
NiP were relentless there. They just kept pushing in multiple directions. Brolin, obviously, the one that we saw most on our screen, but Alexi B inserted himself at the top of Connector 2. This was just a round where it felt like Astralis were slowly getting choked out, and that's really pretty tough because they've been playing so well to punish some of these types of aggressions, but they just miss a couple of them, like that Brolin early peek and the way that Alexi gets up there too.
So, such a nice nade.
Yeah, so stylish.
Trash can parkour, right?
Yeah,
right into almost 100 damage nade.
A little kick flip into that.
More than that, yeah. You like to see it. But not if you're Astralis, obviously. They've got that one AK on Buzz. And right now, it's just like 4 rounds doesn't feel like quite enough. I think even 5 would just feel quite different to Astralis. 5, you're building a story in your head saying, okay, and then we win the pistol, and it's all good. We can bring it right back. 4, maybe not quite the same ring to it. Alexi, pretty aggressive once again with the MP9, but I love it. He's been playing well. He's had a couple of unfortunate deaths with the smoke and with a wallbang spam earlier. Roland, very nearly a double as Buzz is low on health, and Alexi's decided, you know what? I'm just going to come back from an angle that they almost certainly won't expect. Timing, failing him there. That's a little bit scary. He's going to find Buzz eventually, but he was low on health already. 35 seconds, and the problem is more probably that Astralis have to spend time now fighting Alexi. All right. Okay, that's fine. That's great, Rez. Good for you.
Oh, Alexi got a little bit greedy wanting to throw that smoke right there, and not seemingly going to matter, though. Rez has just been a turret on this side of the map. 3 kills for him. 10 already in the game.
Explain to me, Alex, why I can't have this Rez all the time.
Oh.
That's all I want, really. Because that is obviously sick.
Okay, I'll be a little critical of Rez, if you want that. I think Rez just sometimes falls into ruts where he just makes the same plays over and over again. And what needs to happen is he needs to take a little bit more initiative to just find out more ways to get himself involved. when he was looking really sharp at the beginning of 2022, he started using a multitude of one-ways. He started using all these tricks. He started adding them to his bag, but then he kind of stopped doing that. And then he kind of started resorting to just being this really stable, aim-heavy rifler again. And then we're starting to get the same res again. And also on top of the fact he tried switching to the op for a little bit. So...
Okay, so if they can find some stability in the lineup, obviously for NiP, we know they can't do that right now. That's like a whole story on its own. Then maybe Rez could focus on some of that. Mechanically, some of those rounds, and it's not the first time that we see them, they look just beautiful.
What you'd want from Rez is an individual coach dedicated to showing him tricks.
Right.
Because he's always going to have the ability, it's just not always have all the plays. And so, something to think about.
You, trying to get yourself hired? Are you on the market too?
There's one guy that's on the Blast team that could help Rez a lot.
All right.
He already has, probably. He's got his own zone.
It's very true. Conflict of interest, perhaps, but at the same time, could be interesting. Round number 15. And Astralis, they've got restrooms for once. They haven't really had to fight for it. They could get quite close. And NiP, their proactive plays have really been working out, and they are pushing once again. Looks like it might be just a second late. The Molotov, though, slowing it down. Good shot from Sip as he takes Brolin, but Alexi is walking up behind him, and this time it's not with the MP9, it's an M4 instead. He's made his way around the corner, a little bit of a shot, but he misses the window of opportunity. Device heard the footsteps, and he was so close, Alexi, to being able to maybe kill that round for Astralis. Now instead, they've switched it up. They still got 35 seconds. And up close, trying to hold on to this one is Maxter. He's got some backup now behind him, at least. Not the AWP. Minimal weapons here. Oh, it's still great work. Rez picking up one more shot, and the head tricks just keep coming through. That's so good. Rez and head trick at the end, and a beautiful first half here for NiP. It's looking good. They just need to finish it in the second half.
Boosty kicker up. Oh, there's that
the
scout.
Oh! See with the pre-aim to the top of the half wall.
No, open B
He just
site.
wins the round. He just wins the round like that. He won the whole round. That is unreal.
How does he do things like that?
That's crazy. The boy is special.
Outsiders did nothing wrong.
They had 2 good spots and good guns.
Oh, that is disgusting. And Hooksy's losing his mind.
Yeah.
Hands off the keyboard.
You're so sick, Monacy. You're so sick.
That's what he always says. I love it.
Ilya.
Ilya, you're nuts. You're so good, bro. And honestly...
Yeah, really. He just won. That's the cool part about Counter-Strike. I mean, he just won the round by himself. He did.
Watch this.
Oh, man.
Now, James kind of posted and then...
Wow.
Oh.
It's insane. I can't get over it.
Show me how.
Liquid are teed up nicely. The Flames and Dexter. This bomb down is scary. Flames is taking real estate, but ends up getting punished. Liquid hold. They win these fights. Just Dexter left to get past, but he's an iron wall at the back of the site. Moving around. Kill number 3. Oh! Dexter! Make some noise for him. That is incredible.
Look how hyped up he is. I don't even think he believes it. Look at the way he isolates these fights. Oh, Liquid, that one hurts, and that's all your money as well. Unreal. Dexter just lets loose.
He wants an angle and a timing, and has at least gotten the first. Molly ahead of him, sees the gun, executes twist first and foremost, tries to wrap it back around the hut, but the heaven support, that could be the bigger difference maker. Rock's dead. Hunter continues to thrive until Brokey puts him down, and it's time for the ice-cold JKS to try and come through. This isn't rap, this isn't his wheelhouse, but it's still a chance to shine. And Brokey doesn't know where he's at. A peek out with the A4, sees him up in heaven, and he nails it! He nails it!
One more close now. Careful B now.
Yeah,
I'll
take
do smoke
first.
B. One should be
Yes,
close
that's
banana. Yeah. Nothing
Yep.
down. Kill me through smoke.
Two.
If they push,
I smoke.
Short
Short
dead.
one.
Nice.
One short.
One
Let's
could
be
be
short
close.
together.
One could be
Ready.
close
Let's
banana.
short together.
Alexei.
He's out.
Nice. Nice.
I
That's
shall be hard.
hard.
He was monster. He was monster.
I have underground.
Yeah, he was for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hold under pushing me.
Nice.
One top.
Yeah.
Take it. Nice round.
Some good comms out of the NiP camp, and it's been rewarded. They've had a great first half. They've managed to really almost extinguish Astralis here in the opening half of Overpass. But the Danes obviously are going to want to fight back here in the second half. Pistol round is coming up. Astralis now on the CT side. They've got 2 sets of dualies, so you know they're ready to battle.
And Blamef's got one of them right in con. This is a great position for him, hiding right behind the stairs. And Glaive himself, he's actually holding those towards B, but first contact will be towards this connector.
Yeah, Device, the question is, could he be a distraction? If he's back here just in time, yep, there's the lock-in. Oh, it doesn't matter. What a great opening for Alexi. He was amazing in the pistol round of the first half, and just the fact that he's able to shut down Blamef in this one before he spins out of control, obviously very important. So, well done. That's a very good trick for Astralis otherwise, and somehow it still gets shut down.
That easily could have been a disaster. But the crisis has been averted, but NiP, they're still taking their time with this one. They have this P250 on Brolin, might be able to catch Device on the jump spot. Okay, the challenge is there. It presented itself, but neither player is going to close out. But with that information, Device, it's not really calling in for too much just yet. There's a single rotation from Buzz, making his way up to A, and this has now become a very spread out defense for Astralis. Smokes are coming in. Device, he's able to pick down one. They keep approaching, though.
They want to see if they can challenge him, and they will. Glock, even at medium range, enough to get that shot. Now, Buzz feeling the pressure as well, and he needs some backup right now. The rest of the team, they're running for it. They're trying to get there, but look at the bomb. It's making its way to the other side. What a great, very late round call coming out here for Alexi, saying, you know what? They're for sure going to be rushing to try and save this. Head trick and Maxter. As Astralis realize what went wrong, they come back to the B bomb site, and they get absolutely slaughtered. All on Buzz now, and I don't think it's even really worth it to go for it here. If you can snipe away and make some more cash, you know, a little bit of $300 extra, that's probably fine, but just running into the bomb site, I don't even think makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, he got one, but it's tough for Buzz there. Not even that much to do. I think he actually dropped both of the dualies, so he wasn't even going to save any armor anyways. So yeah. just wanted to get a kill, get some more stats on his side. This was exactly what Astralis wanted to do in the first half, this kind of push and pull offense, but they were unsuccessful for the most part, and NiP, they're able to do it in the very first round. 12-4, commanding lead for the Ninjas. Maxter with the Mac 10. Just kind of fitting. If your name is Max, you have to buy it.
That's true. I wonder if there's a skin that matches the theme. Maybe not, but there should be. Here we go. Flash on over. 17th round, and they get a free and open and clear bomb site. It's a beautiful site, really.
Just get to admire it now.
Yeah. Chill out down here. Pull out the lawn furniture and just relax. Because there's not much that Astralis could really do to put some pressure on this round. They've won flashbang, but they're set up quite far back and obviously just looking for a couple of exits. 13-4. That's a long climb back for Astralis, isn't it?
Yeah, this has become a little bit much. Okay, a nice hold. One kill for Buzz. But Buzz is getting his in this one.
Good.
Yeah, he hasn't been doing too well at the spring groups, but, you know, maybe sometimes you're just a little bit nervous or shaky in your first couple officials, I guess.
Really hard to blame him for that.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure joining an org like Astralis.
It's kind of easy. It's easier to sell the story of saying, oh, you're on the big stage now. If you do well, everyone's going to know your name. It's going to be safe. But, I mean, there is the other side of the coin where if you don't, then people might also think, oh, well, maybe it just doesn't have it. Which doesn't have to be true, right?
Right.
It could be that some players will take a little while and they need a little bit more experience and they need to feel a little bit more at home doing it. That's definitely seen that before, too. So, I feel like Buzz probably had some more negative headlines to begin with, but yeah, I agree. So far today, at least, yeah, he's been hitting some shots.
It's just hard to. It's like you wouldn't pin the loss on him. That's safe to say. This has been more of a structural failure from Astralis in that first half. Just not able to close out some rounds where they were actually advantaged.
Yeah.
And so that's why NiP has this lead. And NiP, they want to continue building that lead. They're making their way up long. Device holding with the AUG. This is a sliver angle. He might be presented an opportunity. It might be a jump spot, though. And if he's taken off of this angle with a jump spot, then he's got it back right into that site. And that's a great kill. Really needed something like that out of him. And Brolin actually wanted to fight the AUG, and that was to his detriment.
Definitely confidence to try and take that fight, but you're right. It backfires. Rez, I still think today she just looked so on point with the mechanics. He's not aware of BlameF, though. Wasn't expecting it, and probably because Device was so far back, they're not thinking someone's going to be up close. And BlameF, he's been let loose in the round. 3 kills to end it. First one, a bit of a surprise, but then he actually just went hunting for them. And if Astralis are going to make a comeback on this one, you have to assume that having BlameF find his role in the game could be a huge, huge factor all of a sudden. He really can be such a stunning player to watch, too.
To just throw one qualifier out there, I would, for a comeback, it's that I think BlameF and Device can do well, but they're playing A together. You know, this is a spot where you would hope that they do very well. They're supposed to be the 2 best players on this team. I'm a little bit concerned about the B defense. We haven't really seen it tested just yet on a gun round from NiP, so still a lot more game to be played in this one. But if it's kind of like if BlameF and Device aren't doing well, then what is?
Yeah, what then? And I think both Buzz and Sip, you know, overall for the tournament so far have had a bit of a rough time.
Yeah, exactly.
If they're both holding, you're right, anchoring the other side, then
it's statistically the duo you would trust the least.
Right.
In the
That's
entire
fair.
event.
That's pretty much fair. I'm sure NiP know it and have thought about it too. So far, they're trying to challenge Device, and they walk right into the double spray. He was all in on that position. When you're wedged that far up against the wall, you probably can't escape, but when you take 2 players down with you, it's all good. Head trick at 20 kills right here, but it's a 2-on-4. Again, this should be an unwinnable round from the point of view of NiP. Astralis almost need to help them out.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty tough. Headtrick's looking for a duel if there's some free opportunity here, but with Glaive jump spotting and with Alexi B already moving back, this round is definitely over. Headtrick with 20 kills, though. What's been nice about Headtrick's games is that he hasn't necessarily always had to have the flashiest kills. He's just found multi-frags off of just breaking down the opponent's default. If they aren't throwing proper utility, he's gonna hit the easy shots so far. Doesn't seem like he's definitely not a liability, that's for certain.
Yep.
It's just that his good rounds, it doesn't always feel like he's popping off the page. It's much more, in fact, it actually seems sustainable the way he's finding success.
I think that's a good word to bring up. Sustainable is something that can be replicated over and over again, which is super important. So I'm all right with it too. I think it's a good foundation if nothing else. Timeout looked like being called here from the NiP camp, getting a chance to maybe talk things through. They know they have such a huge lead, but you surely also know that if the Danes start to get warmed up, if they get settled into the second half, they build up the money, it is a different game that you're going to have to play. So I don't really blame NiP if they want to just try and close it as soon as humanly possible instead of letting the momentum build on the other side. I'm curious what kind of a call they're going to be making. Some of what they did earlier, that broad attack and the late round switches from A to B, I think if you can replicate that, if you have confidence in the team to be able to make those kind of plays, that'd be super sick. It's fun to watch.
It just seems like it's tough right now for NiP to challenge Device and BlameF. And so a very simple solution would to just be challenging B very early on. But you always run the risk of doing that you're just going to let BlameF or Device just sit in connector, go for a quick flank. All of that is so much more possible. And so this time around, NiP, after the timeout, they go for the 2-2-1 default. They are making their way up connector at present. Rez and Maxter, they're going to find that space. And this is a pretty precarious setup. BlameF is very exposed. Multiple angles that could crunch on him. So he's going to have to fight his way out of this.
Ooh, is that a spot? Jumping off the slide? I'm not sure. They might have an idea that he's up here anyway. A little bit of a challenge coming out, and a good shot. It looked like Blamef could have had the spray, exactly the kind of fight that he can typically win. But instead it goes the other way, and they're going to give over a rifle. Still over a minute left. And now, will this invite Astralis to try and be even more aggressive and try and find another opening to get back into it? Device is out on long. That's not too aggressive. 55 seconds. Nobody's pushing out of B, but they are making a huge rotation towards the A-bomb side, at least for the start of it here, Astralis. Changing their minds instantly.
Yeah, they're kind of in between options here, and that's really concerning. But going back to B is off the back of Device's movements. There are 3 players from Astralis here ready to defend, but NiP have great utility, although the first engagement might be right here with Glaive.
Yep, he's up close to the corner. He's taken down Rez. Another one keeps coming in. Finally, Hetrick will take care of business. Buzz. Yeah, I need to get back around that pillar. 18 seconds. He's done a fine job. Another good defense from him. And Sip will get that crab walk spray through at the end to finish the round. So a 4-on-5 that NiP don't quite manage it. I think you're right, though. It was really Device pushing into the restrooms, clearing that out. And then obviously Glaive winning the double kill is huge as well. Well done.
This is what's worrying about Astralis on this map, actually, is that even if you kill Blamef or Device, the other one have enough confidence to just make an individual play that can support the other part of the defense so well. Very worrying sign that they are finding this much success between the two of them. At least for NiP, that is.
It is definitely bad news. Some more bad news might be coming up as Blamef is out hunting with the MP9. 3 kills so far before he finally does go down. But he's done the damage, and maybe more importantly, he's made some money. It's about to be 8 rounds for Astralis, and now it's quite an open game again. They have a lot of money in the bank, and in general just look like, you know, slow start for them. Some missed shots early on from the Danes that honestly looked a bit unacceptable, but now they're getting into it.
Yeah, this is becoming a competitive game all of a sudden. I'd say it's still a ways away for NiP to really start feeling the sweat and the heat, but it's not like this is gonna get that much easier because Device has the op now.
Oh yeah. It still feels like they haven't tested that B-bomb side that much.
No.
In IP, which is curious. You're right. That Sip and Buzz duo should be something that they could try and challenge if they'd be looking at the stats. I'm sure that they have. There's the ringing up from long. Device taking down Brawler. Buzz sneaking up to try and get a bit aggressive, but Rez, he's been a bit of a light for NiP. 17 kills on him after that one. Blamef's going to get one of them, and he wants to come back. He's so aggressive. Oh, it's so hard to deal with. The wall bang from the other side. Glaive taking down Rez, and it's another 2-on-4 here as the Astralis are looking to claim a 9th round.
Wow, this was such a swift recovery from Astralis there. As soon as Buzz dies, it seems like Glaive's just spamming them down. Blamef's fighting from connector. They're just crunching on them on that spot. And this is now... We're seeing a lot of openers for Astralis towards that A side of the map. Does feel like NiP are just kind of running their head into the brick wall of Device, of Blamef, and then they keep these late round plays. It's already hamstrung by the fact they've taken so many casualties.
Difficult angle to peek right there. Hetrick now surely try and do what he can to save the AWP. Yeah, that's a huge problem. Even if you felt like you could try and go for a B rush or 2, you probably can't finish the game like that. You do too much of it, and eventually Astralis will wise up to it. I'm still curious about them not testing it at least once. Obviously, it doesn't have to be just a straight rush. There are other ways to set up. But it doesn't feel like they are in that mood just yet. Blamef will take down Hetrick, and they don't want the second AWP. They're happy with what they've got. 5 in a row now for Astralis as they just are marching back into this game.
It hasn't even been a gun round victory for NiP in this half. That's, I think, the most concerning sign about this. The round lead looks great still, but you're running out of time. You got to find some sort of way to break this defense open. Frustration, it's already starting to settle in on the NiP camp, and this is their last time out. That is very concerning.
Burning through them now.
Yeah.
What are we to make of this? I mean, it's obviously very hard to know from the outside of the team, but this feels like the kind of thing that you do when you are really worried about the team, you know, not just losing the round, but really tilting behind it. And you want a chance to sort of shut that down every time.
Okay. Astralis, another opportunity for them to just keep building their lead. NiP, they had some money there, and they're on max loss bonus now. So they're going to be receiving 3,400 if they just keep losing consecutive rounds. So you can still buy a little bit in this round. We see obviously the 3 Deagles, the 2 Tech 9s, and they have some utility on top of that. But I mean, if you haven't been finding success in the gun rounds, it's hard to imagine a way where this will work out.
Getting a chance to flex it. Good spray transfer.
That second kill.
Yeah, blamef it's starting to get a really big concern. I think you mentioned it even before all of this happened, but now that you're really seeing it play out between Device and blamef, very, very hard to break through on that side at the moment. And they're feeling no pressure in this one. Astralis about to be 10 rounds for them. And NiP, I'm so curious. It feels like that B round just has to show up at some point. They have to test Sip and Buzz down there and see. And, you know, sometimes those B rounds, one good pop flash through, if you get the timing right through the smoke in the monster tunnel, that could be enough.
That's really all it has to be. Astralis have constructed entire T sites on their own end based off of B hits.
And I mean, in previous tournaments, Mahon's given some pretty good breakdowns about some of those flashes that could be thrown from the T side that go behind the pillar such that the Ts don't have to turn around, but the CTs do. So you can actually run in and just straight up face while your teammates are throwing flashbangs that are just going over the wall and landing behind the pillar. It's such a cool idea. Obviously, NiP know all of this too.
Yeah.
Very, very curious what it is that is keeping them from at least trying it. If it doesn't work, you could cross it off the list and say you gave it a shot, but if you never even tried it, it just feels a bit weird.
It does. It does. It really feels like it's something that's just in the playbook. It's sitting there. Everybody should have a really good B exec or just even one out of spawn. And you would imagine that you would challenge these weaker players for Astralis. It's not even a strong critique. It's just simply how they've been performing at this event.
Yeah.
The weakest players for Astralis have been there. And we see that Astralis, they're trying to get ahead of the curve here. They put Device on that B site. They expect that it would just be some sort of attack there. But once again, Device, I mean, NiP that is, they're just going for a default.
Yeah, they're spreading out on this part of the map. All right, a run boost. There's not going to be no one there to catch it. But it's a neat trick if you're able to pull it off. Interesting position when you can get out long like this. Now, they're not really fast with it, so obviously Glaive, who's now back at the A bomb site, should be realizing that they could be pretty far up at this point in time. And blamef, gun barrel not showing Max that he's thinking about it. Someone could be there. He gets up close to check the dinkus in, but not enough. AK just with a bit more firepower. Max, oh, he's still gonna get picked off. Good flick. But the fact that blamef is there and Device is out here, they must have such a good read right now, NiP, of what's happening. They surely know that Sip is still down there. They found Buzz. I think they have a full read on what's happening in the round, but it is a 3-on-3 with just about 27 seconds. So information overload for NiP. Now they need to make a decision in the next 10 seconds or they will run out of time. And look at Astralis. They've got it set up. They are ready to receive them at this A-bomb site. Device, he's covering that truck and crouching in an easy kill on Alexi. He's going to get blown up. 10 seconds left and they might be out of time here. It's a good kill, but they still have to deal with Glaive. 5 seconds and a little bit of a battle. The bomb is being planted almost in plain view, but I don't think Glaive realized. That's a disaster. Now it's on Hetrick to try and save it. Nearly baited into that one. The flash on top. He's surely dead. They're right on top of him. He no-scopes. One of a Sip in the perfect timing. Comes through with it. And Astralis, such a close round, but they saved it.
Oh my goodness, that was nail-bitingly close right there. I'm surprised that Hetrick wasn't able to close that one out. If he had been able to just tuck behind an angle for a split second longer, you think he would regain the composure in order to finish it all off. But this was way too close for comfort, and it's off the back of NiP looking like they had an advantage in this one, but it's just that Astralis, they had the rotations necessary. They were always pretty grouped up there, and man, look at what that means to them. They know that they're in this game now.
Yeah, Device definitely feeling fired up, you can tell. And also, I think emotionally, I'm sure this means the world to him at the moment. 21 kills on Device. Only outdone by Hetrick at 23 on the other team. So right now it's between those two. 13-11 as Astralis, they have paved their way right back into this game. And NiP desperate to win anything at all right now on this T side. And this time, it might happen.
I think this is the round we've been asking for. It's a B pop coming up. Device right around the pillar, though. This is what he was positioned for last round.
This is a hard position to clear as well. Actually, very hard. If you're coming in from the T side, I don't think you're going to be checking this very easily. Flash around the corner. Buzz is good for the one. Device is still down here, like you pointed out. And the crossfire, it's working so far. Sip isolating that shot. Hetrick, though, and Brolin. They stay alive. They fought their way back, even if one of them is low on health. No more nades left here either on Astralis, so they can't really stop the bomb from being planted. And that will at least give them a shot. NiP, finally, they pulled the trigger on this B push, and it might be their best chance yet to win a round. Brolin in a 1 versus 1 against Blame, who's on the other side. And Brolin knows it. Tucked in, he's got a very good off angle here. And Blame, if he's looking for him. Oh, a little bit of a wall bang. That's dirty. He's not fighting fair at the moment, and that'll come back to haunt him. Brolin takes his revenge, and NiP, finally, they could get to 14.
Finally, they're able to get a gun round, and it's off the back of a B play. Feels like we've been waiting forever for this to happen. Works out for NiP, even though it felt like that site defense was starting to pull its way back. Zipnix, Device, they're chiming in with kills, but Brolin to close it all out. The instant headshot. And when it's Blame F against you, he's going to dance with you. He's going to play the timing. He even went for the wall bang. Blame F knew where Brolin was in that 1v1. He heard that, but still, Brolin's just a little bit quicker on that last shot.
Super important. That's what they need him for. Maybe a missed opportunity, but this aggression is wild. They're not expecting it. They try to flash their way over, but I think they must have thought he was further back and not that deep of an angle. 14-11. This can't be just the one round for NiP. It has to be more, and a great crouch peek into that one. Maxter standing up and exploding Blame F. 4-on-4.
Brilliant shot. Device, though, holds on to a lot of information. Positionally, this feels stronger than what he actually just found out, though. He's now kind of still having to suss out the situation. He doesn't know if they snuck past him towards short A, so he'll have to clear that out. And this is a timing opportunity for NiP. If they hit this B bomb site quickly, Glaive is still rotating in, but that window, it might have vanished.
It's closing right in front of them, that's for sure. Pop flash to try and take a look down. That's maybe a little bit too early, but the smoke is godlike.
Yes.
What a devastating turn of events for NiP. Now they either wait it out or they just say, let's roll the dice and go. If they wait it out, though, it's going to be so obvious what's happening.
I think Astralis have already put this one together. Device is holding on to so much space. The only thing is that they're just kind of coming out dry. Okay, this might surprise them, but no, Buzz is there with the first kill. Zipnix tucking himself into short. They might overlook this position. This needs to be a kill, and it is. Rez instantly deletes Zip from the server.
A lot of distractions for them not to fight Sip, but they still keep their cool. That's super impressive for Rez. I really thought he was going to look away as well. Device has thrown away the AWP in favor of the M4, and he crouches into that fight. Alexi, no more. And now it is all on Rez. We know mechanically today he seems to be on point. He could definitely win this one. He's got the help with him as well. And Astralis, how do they get back into this? They have the smoke of the kit and everything else. Good flick for the headshot. Rez, he needs one more! That's beautiful! He takes down Glaive. Look at that cheeky smile. What a disgusting mechanical performance from Rez today.
Oh, wow. That was so fast. It's such overkill on the kill against Device, but it's all headshots for Rez there at the 1v2. Man,
sick, isn't it?
This blistering speed. Oh.
Listen, I was trying to forward the idea last week that we haven't been bullying Swedish Counter-Strike nearly enough, because for me, Swedish Counter-Strike still is the original top-level Counter-Strike. Going, like, this is really way back in history,
yeah.
But it just is. I still think Sweden is kind of the country that showed the rest of the world what was possible. We're talking, 18 years ago. But still, that's, in my mind, how it works out. So there's some emotional connection there that I want them to show it again now in the modern age. Obviously, with NiP starting in CSGO, but still, that some of these young kids could do it. And even if Rez is more of a veteran player now, which in itself is a bit crazy, It's nice to see him pull off something like that. Just need it with more consistency, and they can pull their way through. 15-11 is the scoreline right now. We're in the 27th round, and NiP, they are really, really close. It seems like they might have found a way to break Astralis finally.
Oh, and Device's angle. It's so risky. The flash is beautiful. That is an excellent setup. Maxer finds the opener on what may be the last round of Overpass.
Well done. Simple play. Doesn't always have to be so deep, but a flash thrown from that distance, you're not going to be able to hear the pin. You've got no warning. If you turn into it, you are definitely dead. 40 seconds. And again, keeping it simple here in NiP. No deep fakes. We get long. We push the A-bomb site, and maybe that's a bit of a problem. Sim's shown up. Maxter, though, he's back into it. 3 kills. What a time for him to come alive and maybe do something for his team here. Blame him for the deep grenade, but that's just an MP9. The spray is coming through, and I'm surprised that he stuck around. All on Glaive now. 1 versus 3. He's going to pick up 2 of them right away. And I don't think there's time. Rez has to hunt for the kill. He knows that already. I don't think he's playing for the bomb. He's just looking for Glaive, and he's not far from Glaive. Here's the footsteps. He's trying to hide in the corner, and Rez, of course it is. He'll blow him up and shut down Astralis. It couldn't have been a better end to it. A monstrous performance from Rez, and NiP, they power through on Overpass.
What a great victory for NiP. What a performance from Rez. If we ever wanted to believe in Swedish Counter-Strike, Rez is giving us a reason to. This NiP team, you can't count them out, even though they're playing with that stand-in and Maxter from the young